Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Yeonni. Clearly, it's been a bit of time since I've sat down to do one of these sit-down videos. I'm partially blonde now. That's something new. I am 25 years old now. That's another thing that's new, so I thought I would come back to my channel and do a quick video on 25 things that I've learned in my 25 years of life. I've seen some of these videos floating around, and 25 of the lessons that I could remember, first of all, off the top of my head. So if I can remember off the top of my head, they must be pretty important to me. So I thought I would share a few of those with you, and they're not in any sort of particular order. They just happen to be in the order that I remember them by. So yeah, let's just get straight into the video. The first lesson that I wanted to share is that feelings are not facts. I've said this a few times throughout some of my previous videos, but it's very easy for us as humans to feel a certain type of way about certain situations, about certain things, and then we kind of make ourselves believe that this is the truth. You can kind of assess it more logically rather than being stuck in the emotions of it all. And I'm a very emotional person, so it's helped me a lot. The second thing that I've learned throughout my 25 years of life is that some people will like me and some people won't, and that's okay. I think growing up, the particular way that I've grown up, it's too long to go into this video, but I grew up kind of being like a people pleaser, like a goody two-shoes. Like, I would do your homework if it meant that I could make a new friend. If you stab me in the back 10 times, I will forgive you 11 times. And you know, I think it all came from good roots of being like a good person, being a forgiving person. But then I realized a lot of the friendships that I've had were very superficial, very like transactional. Anyway, I think it was more in high school that I realized that not all people will like me, and that's okay. Like, it's not a reflection of who I am as a person or a friend if someone doesn't seem to like me or a friendship doesn't seem to grow. It's just that not all people are compatible, and trying to force two pieces that aren't meant to fit together, it's just a lot of work, man, and it's just not worth it at the end. Number 3, no relationship is more important than your relationship with yourself. You have to really be okay with yourself and your wants and needs and who you are before you can really know what kind of person you are in other sorts of relationships. Number 4, parents are people and they also can make mistakes, even if they don't admit it. This is a lesson that I've learned growing up. My cat is going through the trash. I apologize. This is a lesson that I've learned growing up as well. And you know, maybe being in like an East Asian household, a lot of the times what your parents said was like God's word, right? They can never make mistakes. And I think being able to see my parents in a more human way as opposed to people who can do no wrong really made my relationship with them a lot more healthy. Being able to understand that they're really just trying their best, and that's all you can really do in life. So yeah. Number 5, if you don't like something, change it. This is kind of situational, case by case, obviously. Sometimes you can't change how things are, so you just have to change your perception of it. But anyway, like an example I could use with this lesson is, I guess I could use a pretty current example. I'm not really happy with my body situation right now. What I mean by that is I've been extremely stressed, as I've reiterated so many times. I'm really sorry. I've been extremely stressed with life circumstances. So I've been eating a lot of junk food. Not only just eating too much food, but just a lot of bad food. Like, you understand, fried chicken and fries and burgers and pizza. Pizza, delicious. But I'm gonna be honest with myself, I haven't been feeling that good. Like, my energy's been pretty low, not only because of the stress, but the physical heaviness that I feel because of all this junk food in my system and the lack of just a balanced diet that I've been having. So I haven't really been feeling myself. So I was like, dang, I'm really unhappy with my body. And then something I remembered was like, okay, what can I do about it? Let me stop just being so sad and like self-deprecating and just sitting on the couch, eating more chips, just being sad. And I was like, let's change it. So I put the chips down. I realized, okay, what has my food intake been like for the past few weeks or days? And yeah, they were bad. I was able to assess it and figure out, what can I change? So for example, maybe not eat like half a stick of Toblerone. Do you know what Toblerones are? They're really good chocolates that are so good. maybe not eat half of the container of that at like 1 a.m. in the morning. And maybe throughout work, instead of having to constantly snack, make sure I take my 1 hour legit lunch break so I can go out and get a decent meal in that, instead of eating snacks and cookies and chocolates to try to get through work without taking a lunch break, because ultimately that's being healthier. So whether it's an example like that or any other thing in your life, something that's really helped me to see is, if I'm not satisfied with something, is there something I can do or tweak to change it up? Because who's gonna do it for me but myself? Number 6 is, you will love yourself at times, and at times you will find it really difficult to love yourself, and that's okay. It's a journey. I think self-love is something maybe each and every one of us really struggle with. I don't want to generalize, maybe you don't struggle with it, then good for you. But at least for me, I struggle with it. I always have, and I still continue to do so. There are days when I'm feeling myself, like today I have my little beret on, I feel really pretty, I feel really confident, I feel good. But that does not mean I will feel this way maybe later on tonight, maybe tomorrow. You gotta take it one day at a time. You gotta take it one moment at a time. I just hope you realize self-love isn't like a prize that you win and you can hold on to forever. It's more like a marathon. It's a journey. You get to the next step, there's more obstacles. You get to the next step, there's more obstacles. But it's also kind of like a video game where you get skills and you get little level ups here and there, and you learn how to play the game better as you explore it more, as you embrace it more. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm using my hands a lot today, as per usual. Number 7, this pretty much has to do with what I just said, and is just generally such an important lesson, is that when you feel a certain type of way about yourself, especially if it's negative, I think it's important to realize, have this conversation with yourself. Am I feeling this way because I truly feel this way about myself? Or is it because there's some invisible standard that says I should feel this way? It's kind of that reality testing that I've talked about in a few of my mental health videos, where in cognitive behavioral therapy, which it's a tool that therapists and psychologists use in like therapy sessions, it's really being able to separate like the internal perspective versus the external perspective. I think has been a really, really important lesson in my life, to make sure I'm not so harsh on myself, to make sure my standards for myself are realistic and they're factual and authentic to who I want to be and how I want to live my life. Number 8, relationships with money can be extremely toxic. I think as I grow up, I realize more that I talk about money a lot more. There's more things that I need and want that I feel like cost more. When you're 5 years old, you want a Bratz doll, and that's pretty much it. At least it was for me. Now that I'm married, I'm thinking about may need a car. We need to maybe start getting a house. You know, if we build a family, as if it's like Legos. If we want to have a family, how much will it cost to have a child? And then like tax season and like 401k. Yeah, adulting is just as difficult and annoying as I thought it would be, but it's also a challenge trying to take it as that way. But relationships with money can be really toxic, and I think a lot of the times growing up I've heard that we shouldn't idolize money and wealth, but living in New York City, it is such a challenge. So that's a lesson in itself, something to think about. Try to evaluate what your relationship with money is. Is your life just a constant pursuit for money and wealth? And if it is, why? And is that something that brings you joy and happiness? I don't know. It's confusing, but being more aware of my relationship with money is a lesson that I've learned that I need to constantly, kind of keep myself in check for. Number 9, there are good people and there are bad people in this world. It is what it is. Being in the field that I am as a therapist, I genuinely, inherently always want to believe that people are good. But then that's also kind of putting my own assumption on other people. It's kind of hard to accept that, but it was definitely a difficult lesson that I did have to learn. Number 10 kind of relates to the money lesson that I talked about. These days I've been focusing more on, there's cat hair on my nose. Oof. These days I've been focusing more on quality over quantity when it comes to the items that I own. For example, back in the day, as if it was so long ago, like years ago, 3-4 years ago, I would have been shopping at Forever 21, H&M, just these really large fast fashion places where I get cool items that are trendy, and then they go through the wash like twice and become all raggedy and you can't wear them anymore and they're not trendy anymore. I just kind of got really tired of clutter. Maybe it's having to live in a studio apartment with another person and 2 cats, and realizing that all this stuff doesn't really bring me joy. Quality over quantity just makes more sense, because I can have 10 purses that are great and okay, but if they just pile up into stuff, I won't truly appreciate what I own. Halfway there. Number 11, nothing is forever. As I grow older, I think I've learned that There are certain moments in life where I kind of wanted to be like, this moment is so pure and so beautiful. It makes me so happy. I want it to last forever. Oh, I'm like getting emotional talking about that. Cherish the moments because no moment lasts forever. I think that is a really, really important lesson that I've learned recently. Number 12, you're not perfect, so don't try to be. God, that's so hard, isn't it? I'm such a perfectionist. I'm not perfect. I know that completely, but I am such a perfectionist that it's like I'm constantly setting up myself for failure, and then I fail. I'm like, oh, why am I such a failure? Why can't I be perfect? It's like, because we're not meant to be perfect. Perfection is something that we've created as humans, and every moment of our lives, what we think is perfect is going to change. We can't strive to achieve something that is not achievable. So why even do it in the first place? All we can do is try our best, and if you can say that you've tried your best, we let the puzzle pieces fall into place, as it will. Number 13, some days are good, some days are bad. It is what it is, but doesn't mean when you're having a bad day, that'll be forever. No, the sun will come up again, as it always does. Number 14, I cannot have Nutella in the house because I will eat all of it. I lose all self-control when it comes to that, so no. Number 15, this is another food one. Brussels sprouts are delicious. I have never eaten Brussels sprouts growing up because maybe it's like a cultural thing. I don't think Koreans really eat Brussels sprouts, but I've seen it in like dishes when I'd go to restaurants as like a side or something. It was like, they looked kind of weird to me, like little brains, so I didn't really like them. But in more recent years, I've been eating more Brussels sprouts. Does this mean I'm an adult now? Does this mean I'm old now that I enjoy these little vegetables? But Brussels sprouts are delicious. Number 16, planning is good. It's always good to plan, I think, but don't get discouraged if plans don't turn out exactly how you want it to. It's kind of like the perfectionism lesson. We can't predict what's going to happen in the next day or the next hour or the next minute, really. We just kind of live life as it comes, and trying to plan and have like short-term goals and long-term goals. I love having goals like 1-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. That's me. But use it as more of like a guideline rather than something that you have to stick to, because life is gonna happen. Number 17, I truly don't believe that there is the one that is emphasized in like Hollywood or Disney movies. In my opinion, when you are looking for the one in your life, I would say you're looking for someone that you see potential to grow together with, because we're not perfect. How can we expect our partners to be perfect? It's just unrealistic. I think maybe the baseline is the same morals and values that you might have, whether it's religion, how they treat their parents, like certain things like that. And if those like basic standards match, I think there's so much wiggle room and potential for two people to really become one and to learn to love each other truly for who they are rather than being fake, essentially. Yeah, there's some love advice for you. Number 18, you deserve love and respect always. If you haven't been given love and respect in the past, I'm terribly sorry. You deserve love and respect always in any situation, no matter who you're with, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. You, the person who's watching this, you deserve love and respect. Number 19, it is important to learn to apologize sincerely. I learned more recently that I can be very defensive at times, and it was really hard for me to accept that. It still gets me emotional when I think about it. I learned that I need to learn to apologize authentically for my mistakes, because I will continue to make mistakes, and I can't get defensive about it. If I made a mistake, I should apologize sincerely and learn from it and move forward. Number 20, the world is not a picture-perfect place. I don't think many people believe that, but certain people can believe that, but that's a lesson that I've learned. The world is really messed up. There's a lot of sick people out there. There's a lot of hurt, suffering people out there. There's beautiful moments, but in general, the world is really difficult to live in. But once we realize that that's the norm, we can figure out what can we do about it. What can we do as individuals in this world to really cherish those special moments or to make more positive moments, put those positive vibes out there. I don't know, something I learned, and it just kind of helped me to feel better. Number 21, Instagram can be really beautiful. Like, it's very inspirational at times. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to work out today. Like, oh yes, I should travel more. Oh yeah, she looks beautiful. Let me get out of my pajamas and try to put something on, like, feel good, you know, confidence. But most of the times, it's pretty toxic. It's pretty toxic. It is what I learned. Number 22, you don't know if you'll make it or not if you don't try. Example, YouTube. If you've always wanted to make a YouTube channel, I always tell my friends, do it. If there's something that you want to do, try it. Don't make the goal to be successful, to make money, whatever it may be. Figure out what your motives for wanting to do something. And just don't talk about doing it, do it. Number 23, learn to advocate for yourself. In a world like ours, it's very important to realize that you have a voice. If something bothers you, if something doesn't make you happy, if something needs to be changed, I hope you know that you do have a voice. Of course, it's case by case, it's situational. If you're in a workplace and it's very bureaucratic, they give you the vibe that they don't care about your opinion. I'm really sorry that you're in a place like that. And if that upsets you, maybe it's time to think about maybe some administrative changes that could happen. I don't know. There's just so many different case scenarios that this could apply to, but you do have a voice. Your opinion does matter, and you should be able to voice it. Number 24. Call your mom more. That's a lesson that I've learned for myself and that I want to put out there more. Moms are amazing. They've done so much for us. And I would say call your mom more. Call your dad more. Whoever raised you, whoever took the time to be there for you, call them. Call your loved ones now instead of putting it off, because like I said before, nothing lasts forever. And finally, last but not least, you are not alone in your struggles. This is a lesson that I've learned and that I always remind myself every day, and I want to end this video by reminding you that you are not alone in your struggles. If anything, this YouTube channel is an amazing example of that. There are many times where I've posted things on here being like, dang, like no one's gonna understand what I'm talking about, no one's gonna care, blah, 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 blah. And I realized there's amazing people out there who are experiencing the same things as me, and it made me feel less alone. It made me feel less like an other, you know, because humans, we have a lot more alike than you think. So I hope you know that you are not alone in your struggles. And that's that. 25 things that I've learned in my 25 years of life. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it if you did like it. If you had a lesson that you particularly resonated with, let me know in the comments down below. Which one was it? Or if you have your own lesson that you've learned throughout your years of life, whether you're 10 or 17 or 40, wherever you might be, let me know. I always want to take any opportunity as an opportunity to learn and grow. It'd be cool to have that kind of sharing happening in the comments down below. And if this is your first time on my channel, hello, my name is Yeonni. I make mental health / social work videos on Mondays or Tuesdays. And I also make other kinds of videos, whatever I feel like making in the latter half of the week, sometimes vlogs, sometimes get ready with me's. Right now, my schedule is kind of up in the air, but I love being on YouTube and making videos. It's been so much fun. So please check out my channel to see what kind of videos I do make. And if you do like what you see, make sure to subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!